I'm Spider-Man 1991, and I'm here to talk about the comic books I read that came out this week, the week of March 26, 2014. Now, let's get started with the comics I read from DC Comics, starting with Aquaman, number 29. Alright, Dr. Evans, the paleontologist who was spying on Arthur and then stole his trident, uses Aquaman's trident on a keyhole in an ancient tube. It does not go well, because it opens a portal to hell, and Aquaman later finds out where his trident is. He shows up, fights most of the demons, and then he ends up fighting Hercules. That's right, Hercules, the son of Zeus. Honestly skipped this book. Flash, number 29. This is the conclusion to the whole Keystone Killer story arc. The Flash discovers that apparently when the Keystone Killer did go into the Central City Crime Lab, he was looking up who were the last remaining Sutter descendants, and he finds out that the only descendant left is Captain Daniel Fry, the man who raised Barry after his dad was arrested. And so Barry is able to goes through Fry's office after Patty tells him that there's a possibility he could be Barry's biological father. He goes through Fry's office and he heads off to where Fry's going to meet the Spirit, and apparently Fry tries to get the Spirit to possess him and kill him, and Fry was going to blow himself up so that he could attempt to get rid of the ghost, but apparently it doesn't work because the Spirit finds out that Fry isn't a Sutter, but it turns out he looked in his memories while he possessed him and found out that Barry Allen is the last one. So the Spirit heads over to possess Flash. However, Flash is able to fight back the possession by using his powers to somehow control the Spirit. Like the same way last issue, how he was able to kick Deadman out when Deadman possessed him. He's able to use his powers to somehow keep the Spirit in a sort of trapped state, and unfortunately, thanks to Deadman, he's able to lure the Spirit into a room in the House of Mystery, leaving it trapped for all eternity. And afterwards, Barry Allen, Barry goes to see Captain Fry, and Fry explains that he did have a past relationship. He did love Barry's mom, but eventually she did marry his dad, and all he could do was love her from afar, and he's grateful that he had the chance to raise Barry, because in a way he is grateful for raising Barry, and also because of the whole Sutter thing, Barry's able to tell Patty that Fry is not his biological father. So there's that. Meanwhile, though, and the issue ends with Captain Fry going to see Barry's dad in prison, where he tells him that we have to make sure that Barry never finds out who killed his mom, and which implies that apparently Barry's dad and Captain Fry know who the real killer is. So yeah, Flash number 29. This is probably the most interesting Flash story I've read since the New 52 began. It's something I was excited for. It again dealt with Barry's. It really took a little more in-depth look at Barry's mom's case. I think that they're obviously not going to reveal who killed his mom. Especially with the Flash TV series, with the new Flash series coming out soon, they're probably going to want to keep the mystery in the comics ambiguous until they decide what exactly to do with the TV series, with the case on there. So who knows? But overall, Flash number 29 is really great. Very nice. If you can get the story arc in the single issues, I would definitely recommend buying it. Otherwise, wait for the trade. Moving along, time for Marvel with All New X-Factor number 5. Mr. Snow introduces X-Factor to a businessman whose company he's trying to buy out, and when X-Factor with their new member Danger goes in, Danger immediately detects that Mr. Smog isn't actually human, and turns out he's actually, and this is someone you New Mutants fans should remember, the Magus. And then eventually X-Factor fights the Magus, and then suddenly Warlock appears, and apparently he's working with Magus, which is weird because they hate, which X-Factor finds odd because apparently Magus and Warlock hate each other. And so after their battle ends, where Magus and Warlock teleport away, Polaris says they need to get some answers, and the only person they know of where they could start is Doug Ramsey, aka Cypher. Okay, so All New X-Factor, it's still pretty interesting. It's still a team of mutants that's being sponsored by a corporation and working for them. Also, We're still pretty much in the first early issues. We're still building the team here because when they announced the new X Factor, there was going to be Polaris, Quicksilver, Gambit, as well as 3 additional members, later revealed to be Danger, Cypher, and some other guy with the hood. I forgot his name. If you know, please correct me in the comments below. So we're still kind of building the team, the new X Factor here. Still looks pretty interesting. I think that also, I remember when I talked about Peter David's, the last X Factor series by Peter David, he put a particular spotlight on Multiple Man. Well, I think in this series, Peter David's going to be having the spotlight sort of shifted on Gambit. So all you Gambit fans should definitely give this series a try. But yeah, overall, all new X Factor, definitely buy. Next up, Amazing X-Men number 5, the conclusion to the Return of Nightcrawler story arc. Nightcrawler is able to defeat his father Azazel by tying him to the Earth forever, and he's able to do that by selling his soul to the Bamfs. And that is how Kurt Wagner came back to life. Yeah, it's interesting. It's something that you really don't expect, because, you know, Nightcrawler, he's Christian. He obviously takes this stuff very seriously. So obviously, and he knows how dangerous his father is. So obviously, he decided to make the ultimate sacrifice, which is giving up his soul and also giving up heaven, which was a big deal. And in this issue, Professor Xavier appears again as a angel, I guess, and tells Kurt that to basically not go through with his plan and return to heaven. But Kurt refuses because he knows this is the right thing. And so, Kurt even says at the end, after he talks to Logan, I just saved 1 billion souls at the cost of my own. And obviously this will be dealt with, I guess, in the Nightcrawler solo series, which is supposed to be coming out next month. Okay, Amazing X-Men number 5. I would say get this story arc at this point, wait for the first trade to come out, and only get it if you are reading the Nightcrawler series. If you're a Nightcrawler fan, I think you're going to love this, because it shows us how Kurt came back to life, and if you're going to get the Nightcrawler solo series, then I'd say read this story arc too, and if none of those reasons apply to you, then you can skip this book. Next up, Guardians of the Galaxy number 13, the conclusion to the Trial of Jean Grey story arc. Basically, the first half of this issue is Jean Grey finally, apparently, using her psychic powers to convince all the Shi'ar Guard to lay off and leave her alone, and in the end, basically, the Shi'ar Guard withdraw, and they decide, realizing that this is a different Jean Grey, they decide to forget it and let the X-Men and the Guardians and Starjammers leave. The 3 teams head back to Earth, where Cyclops says goodbye to the X-Men and decides to go into space with his dad. And after he leaves, we see that Jean is very sad and frustrated about it. So yeah, okay. Guardians of the Galaxy number 13. Yeah, this was basically just an X-Men story arc that the Guardians just happened to be in. It really wasn't a true crossover, okay? I'd say if you are reading, I mean, for an all-new X-Men story arc, it was actually pretty good, and it's leading into the Cyclops solo title, which is supposed to be coming out later this summer. Cyclops is going to be exploring the universe with his dad. That sounds very interesting. If you are going to get that, then I'd say get this story arc for that reason. If you're a Jean Grey fan, this is definitely something you should check out as well. But if you want to get this because you want to read about the Guardians of the Galaxy, I would not recommend. That is not a good reason for this. So only get this story arc if you're an X-Men fan. If you want to read about the Guardians, wait till next month. So X-Men, buy. Guardians, skip. Alright. Hawkeye, number 18. The mystery of Kate Bishop's friend in the cat food aisle is finally revealed, as well as his connections to Count Nefaria and his daughter Madame Mask. Yeah. And also during this little escapade, Kate finds out that there's some sort of plot to kill Clint Barton, which makes Kate realize she needs to head back to New York. And so that's basically what happens in Hawkeye number 18. This is another issue that didn't really want to go into full details of it because this series is awesome. It really is. Matt Fraction's doing a great job. I really do like how this series does kind of shift between Hawkeye Clint Barton and Hawkeye Kate Bishop. It's a great little thing they have going on here. Now it looks like Kate's coming back to New York, which should be very exciting. So Hawkeye, it's still pretty awesome. Matt Fraction's writing on this really nails it. Highly recommend this series. Definitely a buy. Next up, Miracleman #4. Miracleman teams up with the government hitman Mr. Cream and discovers that the truth behind all his superpowers and his career as a superhero was just basically a creation of the British government. That basically young Miracleman and Kid Miracleman were all just basically subjects of an experiment to create supermen, and it was pretty much some sort of process that involved using the remains of alien technology, as well as basically filling their head with lies about most of their adventure, making them based off of comic books and TV stuff. And also, and here's the real kicker, the project head was actually Dr. Garganza, who is known as Miracleman's arch enemy. And that's what happens. Miracleman is actually a great series. It really is. It's got a lot. These are reprints from the 80s, which the original stories were written by Alan Moore, and he's a really great writer. But yeah, basically this is like Miracleman returning back in action, and he discovers that everything he thought he knew was basically a lie, and also this issue, it just came out after he'd finished taking care of his kid sidekick, who turned out to be a sociopath. But yeah, Miracleman, really great series. I really do think it's interesting. However, the only problem I have with it is that each issue is $5. Okay, I think that's a little pricey. When I read the first Miracleman, I said to myself, okay, I'll give this a try. If I like it, then I'll probably just trade weight it. If not, then but I do like it. I think it's great. I think everyone should give it a shot. However, like I said, $5 a month. So if you don't mind paying an extra $5 a month for one comic, I'd say get it. But if you think that's too pricey, then just do what I'm going to do from now on and just wait for the trades to come out. I believe the first trade will come out and we'll collect all 4 issues. So if you haven't been able, and this series is pretty popular because I've gone to the comic book stores a couple of times, and all the Miracleman issues have been sold out. So I'd say if you can find the single issues, great. Otherwise, just wait for the trade. But overall, Miracleman, great book. Definitely something you should check out. All right, now it's time for a new #1 that I was extremely looking forward to. The Silver Surfer by Dan Slott with art by Mike Aldred. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, Mike Aldred. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got the last name right. Anyways, the Silver Surfer is called to being the champion of a planet known as the Impericon, and it's basically like this huge sort of resort planet. And basically the planet's gatekeeper calls in a champion. Basically, calls in a champion to help deal with this being known as the Never Queen, who often attacks the Impericon. And they've had to call in a number of champions over the years, and apparently Silver Surfer finds out that whenever they call in a new champion, first of all, the Surfer agrees to be their champion when he hears their attack. Then when he asks what happened to the last champion, he hears the last champion say, like, for the sake of my father, and that makes Silver Surfer wondering, wait, why is he saying that? And it's revealed that apparently when they get a new champion, that they also do another search across all of time and space to find the person who matters the most to the person they've just picked as sort of leverage. And when Surfer finds out, it's like, who did you take? Did you take Nova, Alicia Masters, my mother, who? And it's revealed that apparently the censors kidnapped a girl from Earth named Dawn Greenwood. And right when Surfer sees her, he says, I have no idea who this is. And that's the end of the issue. Okay, so Silver Surfer #1, really great. I like it. I really like Mike Aldred's art on this book. I really think it suits the tone, because the whole premise behind the new Silver Surfer series will be that Surfer and Dawn after this will be sort of exploring the universe, and I'm very interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see how the Surfer is going to interact with Dawn. Basically, he's a former Herald of Galactus. He's one of the most powerful beings in the universe, and she's a girl from Earth, so curious how that's going to play out. But yeah, overall, but also I think Dan Slott's a fantastic writer, so that's one of the reasons why I got this, and well, I just think it's amazing. It's fun. It's a little fun, you know, like when we see, like there's this funny scene where the gatekeeper is showing Surfer around the Impericon, and we also see Dawn back on Earth, who's sort of explaining to tourists the bed and breakfast that she lives and works in, all the different stuff there. So that was kind of funny to see. But yeah, overall, Silver Surfer #1 is a great series. So far, I like this #1. I'm really looking forward to where the series is going. If you like Dan Slott, if you like Mike Aldred's art, then you should definitely check out this book. Alright, next up, another Dan Slott book, one of my favorites, The Superior Spider-Man #30. And spoiler alert from here on, and spoiler alert here, but basically if you don't want to know what happens, turn off this video, go buy the issue. Alright, what happens is basically the moment we've all been waiting for since Superior Spider-Man #1 came out. Peter Parker is back! It's official. Not a dream, not a hoax. Peter is back. Otto finally realizes that despite all the things he's done, it's ultimately led to his downfall, as the Goblin still has control of New York, and basically tells Peter that, you're the only one who can do this. You are the real Superior Spider-Man. So Otto goes back to his lab and he deletes all of his memories from Peter's brain. He deletes his childhood, his career as Dr. Octopus, his career as the Superior Spider-Man. What does that mean for the memories from Peter's perspective? Are they still there? Did he delete everything about Dr. Octopus from Peter's mind? We don't know. All we know is after the mind deletion, Peter takes off the helmet, then he goes to the closet in his lab, takes out his old red and blue Spidey costume, puts it on, and says it's his turn now. So watch your back, Green Goblin. Original Spidey's back, and he's coming for you. And also this issue comes with a special reprint of Black Widow, the first issue of Black Widow, but back to Spider-Man. Really great. This is pretty much what everyone wanted. Seriously, this is what everyone wanted, because Dan Slott Dan Slott always gets asked, ever since Superior Spider-Man came out, everyone's been asking Dan Slott, when's Peter coming back? When's Peter coming back? Well, guess what? He's back in this issue. Can't wait to see how. We've only got one part left of Goblin Nation. Then in April, it's going to be the return of. Then in April, it's going to be the return of the Amazing Spider-Man series. Man, Peter's back. Everything is good. Seriously, definitely Superior Spider-Man. Right now, Peter's back. Definitely a buy. That's all you need to know. Alright, last comic. Uncanny Avengers #19. No, 18. Sorry. Misread it. Anyways, Uncanny Avengers #18. Basically, this issue is set on Planet X, the planet that was created by the Apocalypse Twins to be sort of a utopia for the mutant population, who were teleported off of Earth before it was destroyed. Basically, Havoc and his wife Wasp, they're married now. It's years since since the destruction of Earth, and Havoc and Wasp are pretty much trying to destroy the Tachyon Gate that's still surrounding Planet X, so that they can enable time traveling again, so they can try to save Earth. Their only obstacle, Magneto and his X-Force. Yeah, so basically they try. So basically they deal with Magneto and his X-Force, and ultimately though Havoc is able to destroy the gate and get away, but unfortunately Wasp is captured. Havoc makes it back to his base, where we see Beast is also working with them, as well as, and also Wasp and Havoc's daughter. Forgot her name. And right when Havoc gets there and informs Hank what happened, suddenly Kang appears with the collection of heroes that he was collecting throughout the whole Ragnarok Now story arc. And he's also got Thor with him too. And says that now they're pretty much gonna save the Earth. And that's pretty much what happens in this issue. Okay, even though this issue is billed as All New Marvel Now, which is supposed to be the whole fresh jumping on point, I really don't think this is new reader friendly, because I think because even though this issue does come with a digital collection, it's basically a collection for Uncanny Avengers Volume 1. I think instead you should go back and read the last story arc, Ragnarok Now, in order to understand what exactly happened, who died, how Earth was destroyed, and how and you know how the mutants got to Planet X. That's something I recommend. So it's not really new. So I would say the story arc, even though it's like, you know, we've got the whole all new Marvel Now #1 thing on it, it's still not really new reader friendly. So I would say get the whole Ragnarok Now story arc when it comes out in the trade, then check this out. But for long-time readers who've been reading it since the beginning, it's pretty great. So I'd say definitely a buy right now. Okay, that's it for my comic review this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Couple news bit informations. First of all, the teaser that Marvel released last week with all the multiple Spider-Man blocked out and the Amazing Spider-Man. Well, they finally revealed it earlier this week, and it's apparently for a new story arc called Spider-Verse, which will involve the team up of almost every alternate Spider-Man Marvel has put out, and they're all going to team up to go up against Morlun in Amazing Spider-Man, coming out in Amazing Spider-Man this November. Looks very interesting. Can't wait to see what happens. Also, Spider-Man. Also, for all you 2099 fans who have been wanting Marvel to produce an ongoing for Spider-Man 2099, your prayers have been answered. This July, Spider-Man 2099 gets his own ongoing series written by Peter David, the original writer of the 2099 series. So that will be something I'm gonna check out this summer. And also, the first teaser trailer for Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out. I actually had a sigh of relief when I saw the trailer. I'm not saying it's good, I'm just saying it doesn't look as bad as I originally thought. I mean, it's pretty much shown us a glimpse of April O'Neil. It told us that there's a connection, that apparently April's father and Shredder somehow were involved with the creation of the ooze, and also the last shots of the trailer pretty much gives a better look at Leonardo and Michelangelo. I did like the end with Michelangelo, how he meets April and he says like, "Don't worry, it's just a mask." And he just takes off his orange mask, and he says, "See," and she faints. That was kind of funny, but I gotta be honest. When I watched the trailer, it felt like I was watching the first trailer for the first Transformers movie. So yeah, right now I would say the bar for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for me was just not really that much. Didn't really go up that high, but I don't think it's gonna be terrible. So I might check it out. Depending on whether or not we get to see more, depending on what future trailers hold. So, I mean, at least they're not stupid aliens. Okay, let's just be happy that's gone. All right. So that's it for my comic review. So that's it for my video this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you've been subscribed to me since the very beginning, thank you. I appreciate your support. If you are just checking me out, please subscribe. I appreciate it. It's really cool of you to do that. Like this video, share it, whatever you want to do. And also, if you have anything you want to add, say it in the comments. I'm Spider-Man 910 saying, see you later.